What's up, everybody? I am Mr. Williams. This is our DNA, and I'm gonna get right into it. 45 wants to have a military parade. The first thing I think about when I think of a military parade is um, strongmen, normally from dictator-led countries. Um, tanks, missile launchers. You know, tight formation, high stepping. All the things that you what you'd associate with a loudmouth. You know, um, for as much as America and Americans get criticized for our bravado and our brashness, you know, or the way that we're perceived by outside, countries abroad, um, we never showed our, we never took our force out in the public square and was like, hey, look at what we got whipped out. You know what I'm saying? Whipped out our best goods. You know what I'm saying? To show everybody what we was packing, so to speak. And for this guy to basically he wants to use in my opinion, let that be said to begin with. In my opinion, this guy wants to use our military as a prop to boost his own ego. You know, I'm not a person that makes comparisons about well, if Obama had did this, or if Obama had did that, people be losing their minds right now. I think a great many people don't believe that this parade is a good idea. If anything, especially just with everything that he's said. This guy during the Democratic convention, the way he treated the parents of a fallen service member, that spoke out against his candidacy at the DNC convention. The way he treated the widow of the young soldier that was killed overseas. About his remains, and how his wife was treated during a phone call by the president. And there's a number of reasons. Hey, maybe those things could be the reasons why he wanted to recognize the military, but he didn't offend the military at that particular time. He offended those families and the service of their family members. Whether he was new to it or novice, man. I mean, anybody who's had any dealings with common decency. I'm sure Donald Trump's been to a funeral before. I'm sure he's consoled somebody who's had someone pass away. So to have someone even justify, what I'm saying, his callousness, is just, to me it just kind of goes beyond the pale. But back to this parade and whatnot. I think it's a great waste of money. If you want to do something, do something that involves the veterans. What I'm saying, those who've gone to war and come back, feeling you know more like they've been used up by our military than coming home and being discharged from service and still feeling that they're a part of that family that they served for X amount of years. Um, but overall, I think that's a terrible idea. For the reasons that I think Donald Trump would want something like that. You know what I'm saying? I really think it's about having his ego stroke. This is his ride in the tank, with the hat on. This is, for the, to add some spice to it. I kind of, um, I think he kind of wants to be some of those guys, man. He wants to be, the guys that have, you know, those, dictatorships and where they do what they want to do and, things like that. But like I said, I think the military parade is a terrible idea, and I can't think of a way. It's disgraceful, man. Because you know what, insecurities speak loud, and a military parade, you know, tanks driving down the street, Pennsylvania Avenue. You know what I'm saying? That's not America, man. Not to me. You know what I'm saying? Everything has its place. We do what we do. We do what we do in the military for the American people to relax and enjoy the spoils of being American citizens. You know, and this guy who's had 5 draft deferments, You know what I'm saying? Where those of us who joined the military, I'm a military veteran. Those of us who joined the military, some of us went out of our way. We didn't even wait for the paperwork to come to say you got to register for the draft. You just turned 18. Some of us went right to the recruiter. You know, fresh out of high school, right to the recruiting office. Hey, we're signing up. You know, and here's a guy who sits in the White House, very callous, not careful at all with his words or whom he's talking to about the sensitivity of any subject. We're talking about families who've lost loved ones. And this is at the very beginning of his administration. And say, hey, this parade thing maybe could be a way to kind of clean up for that, and maybe, you know, who knows. But what we haven't seen is anything about Donald Trump's nature that says he's a person for atonement. You know what I'm saying? Um, like I said, I think the military parade is a terrible idea. I think Donald Trump is a pompous piece of shit. And this is Mr. Williams, RDNA. Hey, drop your comments in the comment section. You know, like the video, don't like the video. I'm just giving you my perspective. Holla back. 100.